I was probably the most senior, former pharmaceutical company executive speaking out early in the pandemic, and unfortunately, I may still be, rather appallingly, after this many years. I had the advantage of having worked with several major drug companies. I was quite senior. I ran worldwide respiratory, allergy, and so on for Pfizer. I'd had 10 years in biotech. I'd semi-retired. I wasn't completely retired. And so when the event started, I quite quickly thought this is worth watching. And within a few weeks, I noticed people I knew personally, Patrick Vallance, the chief scientific advisor to the UK government, someone I know slightly. I worked with him, and he was lying to me across the television. And I noticed several people saying things that I knew they knew were not true because we shared a common training. So quite early on, certainly by February, March, I knew that senior advisors were lying to the people systematically. And then when we went into the lockdowns, which I understood were completely useless and never had any precedent, I knew. I didn't allow myself to accept it. But I have to say, by the end of March, I certainly could have concluded that we were subjected to what I think intends to be a totalitarian takeover, which will break the economy, introduce vaccines, and I know I'm controversial, but I still think they're going to kill almost everybody. That's a logical inference from where we were in the third week of March. I didn't say any of that stuff, but I chipped away at PCR tests. The Drosten paper was one I went after. But really what changed for me was in the late summer, a guy with his pseudonym Alex McCarran voluntarily contacted me. A former BBC journalist came and took a video of me in my motorcycle shed, and that went several million-fold. And around that point, the attacks on any forum I was on became personal and intense. And I'm not particularly robust, frankly. I don't really care what other people think, but nobody likes to be personally attacked, which is what they did. And the real denouement was when Dr. Wolfgang Wodarg and I, before any so-called vaccine had emergency approval, we issued like a 20-page sort of demolition of the design of these things. And the ceiling fell in on me. Within a week, the BBC had personally, named me on radio and traduced me, and then they used someone from the Royal College of Obstetrics and Gynecology to counter what I had said, that I had concerns, serious concerns, saying I'm a conspiracy theorist. You should, if you're pregnant when the vaccines are available, take them. And within a few days of that period, I kind of lost my grip on Twitter, LinkedIn. I can no longer comment on YouTube videos, even under different names than my own. The comments are removed in front of my very eyes. I can write them, move to the next comment, and they delete themselves. I think the only social media platform I can write with any confidence it will stay put is Telegram. And I'm still like that. And Twitter will not restore my second account, which is hsimiez. I've appealed 3 times. I was never given grounds for suspension, nor have I been given a reason or any response to my request for lifting of censorship. So, like Nick, I am still excluded. And I think I'm excluded because I'm absolutely lethal to their narrative. So I shall stop at this point, but I would like to say something before we close on vaccines.
Go for it.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go for it. Listen, please, carefully. And if anyone's listening to this, write it down. Nobody should be exposed to any of these gene-based injections, whether you call them vaccines or anything else. The reason is, as described in detail by my friend Sukrit Bhakti, but I know it too. Any one of these products, it doesn't matter what it encodes. I don't care if it's spike protein or nothing. If it's non-self, that is, it's not you, when it is expressed by a cell that takes it up, it marks itself for destruction by your immune system. And that is what will happen. Now, if this material lands in your heart, you will get myocarditis or a heart attack. If it lands in your brain or spinal cord or peripheral neural system, you will get one or other of neurological conditions. If in your pancreas, insulin-dependent diabetes, if in your ovaries, infertility, if in your pregnant uterus, prematurity, or stillbirth. Do you get the point? It doesn't matter what they claim for them, every single example. And remember, we have heard all existing vaccines are to be reformatted as mRNA, and leaders of country after country after country have already signed business arrangements to acquire 10 injections per citizen, man, woman, and child in your country. It is inevitable, no matter what they encode, if you allow yourself to be injected, wherever it lands in your body, if you have a competent immune system, it will destroy you. So there's no argument. This is a mass murder weapon, and I have 30 years experience, and I will swear this in front of God and the justice of the peace.
Mike, when you say that, what is the publicised justification for rewiring vaccination to to take it away from what it has been and to base it around mRNA technology? What is being said as the justification and the necessity?
There's nothing much scientific other than this. They say we're so pleased with how well this new technology has gone that it makes sense to move from, shall we say, somewhat of a dark ages production technique. You may know that vaccines are often grown in tissue culture, grown in hens, embryos, and so on, and then mashed up in some sort of, shall we say, it's a not very well-defined product. And they think, well, the argument has been, well, we can make something that's pin sharp, precision, repeatable. Not that these things are necessarily true, but none of the justifications, as far as I can tell, sit around efficacy or safety. And I'm glad they don't, because they would be absolute lies. These things cannot, I promise you, as an immunologist, if these things are taken up by your tissues, and remember, they're formulated in such a way as to make that very likely, wherever they go in the body, then they will be expressed, and your immune system will notice it as non-self and destroy it. That's how your body maintains self on the inside and keeps non-self on the outside. It's how it detects that you've been infected, so it can direct its resources to protect you. And really importantly, if any of your cells go aberrant and become tumorous, they start to declare, as it were, non-self, tumorous proteins on the surface, and your immune surveillance catches those cancers every day. Every day you have gamma rays going through you, mistakes made on exchange as the cells divide, mistakes are made. Your immune system detects single cell cancers and kills them the day they're formed. If you take these machines, these materials, one of the targets eventually will be your immune system itself. It'll go into your lymph nodes and so on. What's left of your immune system will tackle the other half of your immune system, because now it looks infected or cancerous. So you will either die if you take enough of these injections, and I think it will be many, it will erode your immune system and or cause your death through autoimmune reactions. And these are absolutely inevitable. They are the design intent. There is no other possible interpretation. Sorry to be so blunt.